Hi everybody, this is Megan from Holistic Hair Medicine, and yes, I got a new haircut yesterday. I'm so excited. Felt like I lost like 10 pounds just from shedding my hair, or getting my hair cut. So today I am going to share part one, the section of discovering your inner healer and what I've learned from the Grow a New Body book. So in part one, it talks a lot about spirituality and the brain. So it's about the mind-body connection. And he talks about the medicine of the shamans and how the shamans really use a lot of plants and herbs and natural medicine in order to heal the body. And he was saying that in regards to getting a new body, you have to first detoxify the brain and prime it for higher intelligence, because there's further on in the book he talks about the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the hippocampus, and how that when there's no toxicity in the glands and in the organ and they're not calcified, then your conscious awareness is heightened and you're able to see clearer, think better, and to be able to have a stronger connection to higher intelligence, or you could say source or God or spirit. So the first part of the book talks a lot about how to get connected in your spirituality and preparing your mind to be able to do that. I wanted to share that he does say that today we know that feasting and fasting is the key to regeneration and to growing a new body, and that we can detox and upgrade the brain to experience oneness, and oneness is connection with God. And part of that also talks about intermittent fasting, which he brings up later in the book, but it also goes back to how we used to eat and maintain our health at the beginning, in the beginning. So chapter 2 is about spirit and the invisible world, and he talks more about being able to make that connection with oneness and with God. And basically, it's when you're feeling called to do something and take action for something, then go and do it. Don't wait, because there's something inside of you that's pushing you and propelling you to complete a mission. Or as long as it feels good, it's a good feeling that you want to write a book or you want to share a story, then don't wait. There's never going to be a right time. Just start taking action to be able to do that. He does talk a lot about the auras, about the matrix, and the idea of, that there's a veil, and a lot of us that we go through our daily lives following what we're supposed to do, doing what we're supposed to do, but on a dull sense, not so much being passionate or guided. More of like, okay, I gotta get up, I gotta go to work, but there's no connection with it, there's no love for it. There's a phrase that I love. It says, I don't know who said it, but the idea is that we are spiritual beings in a human body. So there's a part of us that is divine, and however you want to look at it, that's the part that we tend to lose, that we lose that respect for ourselves. He says here, in regards to the veil between the two worlds, meaning our spiritual and our physical self, he says the sages say that the reason we are born into a body in the physical world is to evolve and grow, to acquire maturity and wisdom. And I feel like, I'm 40, and I feel like at this age I have acquired some maturity and wisdom, and I feel like when I was 32, even at 38, I didn't feel very wise. But now that I have a different relationship with myself, and source, that it's just a different level of thinking and a different level of being, and I want that for more people. And all it is really, it's work, but it's definitely about connecting with your divine self. The next thing he does talk about more so is the ketone bodies and fats, and that fats are the jet fuel for the brain. And when he talks about fats, he's not talking about a cheesesteak or hamburgers and fries. He's talking about like avocados and almonds and walnuts, coconut oil. Those fats actually help your brain run better. He also goes on to talk about he calls it the LEF, the luminous energy field. Most of us know it as an aura or a halo of a color around a person's body. And he says that the aura can be thought of as the software that instructs your DNA, the hardware to repair your body. You can upgrade the quality of your aura or LEF through meditation, walks in nature, and prayer. I will have to say, based on experience, that I don't think prayer is meditation, because prayer, you're asking, you're thinking, you're talking, whereas in meditation, you're observing. You're not so much actively thinking and participating, you're observing. You're still doing, but it's not the same. And that's just something I've learned from talking to people, having prayed instead of meditating and meditating instead of prayed, and there is a difference. There's a difference between actively asking, thinking, desiring in prayer than it is in observing, watching, reflecting in meditation. The goal is to lift yourself up, and if you're asking for something because you don't feel good, you're hoping for something because you don't have the courage or the strength or the wisdom, it's not the same as observing your mistakes and seeing where you can change and evolve from and gain wisdom from in order to do it differently. He does go on to say, which I thought was interesting in regards to your aura, that our bodies start to develop cancer cells that forget to die and want to live forever, and our systems, for keeping them in check, will not be able to sustain the battle if we don't give our system a chance to fight. So, sugar is not a good thing. It's going to help feeding, it's going to keep feeding those cancer cells. Couple things that he mentions here that I pulled out of it was the law of attraction. I believe in it because I believe in frequency and vibration. And this is about connecting to your spiritual oneness. And through meditation, you're able to do that. I recommend an app called Insight Timer. It's one I love. I used it for like 2 or 3 years for free because I wanted to take some courses. I paid for the membership this year, but it's free, and I liked it better than Calm and Breathe. But those are 2 other apps that I heard that are very good, and it just depends on you and how you think and how you resonate with them. So I would check out Insight Timer. If it's too much in the beginning, Calm and Breathe is a great way to start, but definitely start incorporating meditation to start shaking some things out. He also says here that your aura or your luminous energy field will organize the physical reality around you to mirror your thoughts and beliefs faithfully. So you create what you want in your life based on how you're vibrating on the inside, and that is part of the law of attraction and karma, which is a whole another conversation. It goes on to more talk about the aura and awakening your invisible self, and your invisible self is that part of you that is your spirit. It says, to the indigenous peoples, because this is the shaman section, to the indigenous peoples that he had studied, the invisible realm of spirit is the primary reality, and the luminous self is the enduring self. The awareness will exorcise the fear of death from every cell in your body. Meaning, if you meditate, your higher brain will allow you to understand that there is only life after life, that death is simply a brief change in status from a visible to an invisible existence. And for some people, that might take you a while to understand and realize and process through and either accept or not accept. But a lot of us believe that that is the truth. And depending on your faith and your spirituality, when you conquer that idea of death, there's a freedom, there's a liberation. And I feel like the way society depicts death is very sad, because it can be a beautiful thing, and it all depends on how we live our life and how we prepare for it, which is all goes back to choices. I'm going down the rabbit hole. But anyway, so based on what he's sharing here in the shamanism of medicine part is that, and spirituality, is that by going in and starting to meditate and calming your mind, that you're going to connect your mind body. And then he goes on in the next couple chapters to talk more about how to physically help that. So I hope that helps. The takeaways from this video would be that the primary emotion is fear for most people. Fear of death, fear of loss, and that to get connected to your divine self or your God, to become one with, and you can do that through meditation and prayer, walking in nature, finding things you like, just being able to calm your mind. I recommend Insight Timer, which is an app I really like. There's something called Calm and Breathe. There are 2 other apps you can use. And that the primary goal in your spirituality and your oneness is to have some clarity, gain some maturity and wisdom, so that you can be connected to that higher intelligence in yourself. All right, so that's part 1, mostly about spirituality and the and your aura and how to tap into it and understanding it, because that does play a part as you clear your gut and your brain. All right, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.